With news from home, across the globe and the sporting arena. This is News First Primetime News coming to you live on MTV Sports and Shakti TV from our News First Centre here in Colombo. I am Shahin Durangpati.
A very good evening. I'm Mahina Bongso. Here are headlines tonight.
CID questions Sajin Divas, Mahindananda Gamage and Priyat Bandhuvikrama. Sajin Divas hooted at in Koskoda. Venerable Bhatramule Silaratna Thera urges the former president to take the leadership of the Janasatha Peramuna. Protest staged against Umaoya project. All set to file a case over the killing of Bharat Lakshman at the High Court. A statement from the police.
President Maithripala Sirisena says that a joint task force will be created for the prevention of kidney diseases with the collaboration of 8 ministries. The president also stated that this joint task force will function under the presidential secretariat. He made this statement at an event held in Colombo yesterday.
The event was held to felicitate those who contributed towards the Kidney Disease Prevention Fund, which was formulated under a conceptualization of President Maithripala Sirisena. When I was committed to helping the kidney patients, I acted as the Health Minister and the Minister of Agriculture in the previous government, and there were wealthy people from companies. They appeared on behalf of those companies. We had to face great difficulty when solving the problems of the people. We had to undergo psychological stress. On one hand, it is a great challenge to the health sector. On the other, it is a humanitarian task. We have to join hands for such a task. Therefore, the Presidential Secretariat and the President's Fund for Kidney Disease Prevention in collaboration with 8 ministries and the Special Task Force are working together in this regard. Meanwhile, 3 newly appointed ambassadors to Sri Lanka presented their credentials to President Maithripala Sirisena this morning at the Presidential Secretariat. The ambassadors designate of Georgia, North Korea and China presented their credentials to the President. Brought to you by Minister Rajitha Senaratne said today that promises that have been made to the people must be fulfilled before an election. At the media briefing on cabinet decisions held today, journalists grilled the minister on delays in taking action against the corrupt.
The promises made to the people must be fulfilled before an election. Elections are not what the people are hoping for. People want promises fulfilled and for the work to be done. This parliament has another 2 years left. There is no haste. In order to ensure people get sick of the government, they are showing small fry instead of the sharks. I accept this position too. It is not Shashi Veeravansa or Sudarman Radiliyagoda who should be brought before the law. It is the bosses. The first question is where on earth did they get the money to pay for CSN? There are 2 people against whom charges have been proven, but cases have not been filed yet. Velasudha has spoken about a former IGP and an MP, but nothing has happened.
Why is government is delaying to take action against these people?
We have asked these questions in the cabinet, especially myself, Anura Kumar Disanayaka and Champika Ranavaka. We have asked for the questions and you are asking more. We need to look into it. It is not difficult to find something in this country. It can be done. If there is someone helping them, then it is someone who is waiting to steal. No matter who it is, they are finding it difficult to apprehend obvious thieves because they are also waiting to steal.
දැන් කරන්නේ දැන් මේ දුමින්ද සිල්වාගේ ප්‍රශ්න සම්බන්ධයෙන් වෙලෙසුදාගේ ප්‍රශ්න සම්බන්ධයෙන් අපි අහන්නේ ඔබතුමාගේ දැන් කරන්නේ සාක්ෂි හංගන එක කියලා ආණ්ඩුවට ලොකු චෝදනාවක් තියෙනවා ආණ්ඩුව නෙවෙයි ඒ ආයතන ආණ්ඩුව මාරුනාට රාජ්‍ය හැමමයි.
It is not against the government, it is the institutions. Although the government has changed, the state is the same.
ඔබතුමියට විතරක් නෙවෙයි මමත් ওই චෝදනාව නගමින් ඉන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ ප්‍රමාද වීම සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඔබතුමාලට ප්‍රශ්නක් තියෙනවද? විශාල ප්‍රශ්නයක්. මම කැබිනට් මණ්ඩලයේ දිගින් දිගටම කතා කරනවා මේකට. දුමින්ද සිල්වාගේ සහෝදරයාගේ නාලිකාවට තමයි අගමැතිතුමා ගිහිල්ලා ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් එයාගේ පළමු නිල සම්මුඛ සාකච්ඡාව ලබා දුන්නේ. සාගර රත්නායක අගමැතිතුමාගේ
කාර්යමණ්ඩල ප්‍රධානියා. එයා දුමින්දගේ ඥාතීන් සමග සම්බන්ධකම් පවත්වනවා. ඔහු දුමින්දගේ ඥාතීන් සමග සබඳතා පවත්වනවා කියලා මේ වෙබ්සයිට් වල ඊතරේද සහ අද පළ වෙලා තිබෙනවා.
මම ඒකේ
I have just learned this from you. It is good that you have raised it. I will raise this at the highest authorities. This government was not formed by a single party as in the past. There are 49 coalition partners and we stepped out laying our lives on the line. If we do not win, we would be in the Valley prison. We prepared for that when we stepped out. We will not let anyone steer this government. We will give them 2 or 3 weeks and then we will oppose them.
කාපු බීපු ඒවා මොකද අපි තාණ්ඩුවල හිටියන්නේ අපි දන්නවා
මේ ඩීල් එකකට ආණ්ඩුව අහු වෙලා ඩීල් කාර්යයට අහු වෙලා
ඩීල් කාර්යය ඉන්නවා
ඔබතුමා පිළිගන්නවද ඩීල්
කාර්යය ඉන්නවනේ ඉතින් ඒකනේ දැන්
There are people who are trying to strike deals. The President's Council, who brought it up in the committee, was told to give instructions to the Attorney General. This question was raised in the National Executive Council by Minister Champika Ranaweka. This was about the Avantgarde chairman. On the other hand, this person appeared for the person from Avantgarde and secured bail. The AG's department may have been told not to oppose the bail application.
එයාට අප ඉල්ලලා එයා නීතිඥවරයෙක් වශයෙන් ඉදිරිපත් වෙලා මේ අපෙත් ගත්තා. සමහර නීතිපති දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවට කියන්නේ නැති උපදේශය දෙන්නේ නැති අපේට විරුද්ධ වෙන්න එපයි කියලා.
ඉතින් අමරිකා මේ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ ආණ්ඩුව ජනතා විශ්වාසය එක්කම.
පැහැදිලිව නැති.
ඉතින් ඔබතුමාට කොහොමද ඊළඟට ඔය විදිහට ඊළඟට මේ සංකල්පය
We will catch them before the election. We are not hasty to go in for an election, unlike some people.
Convening a joint media briefing with senior police officials today, Minister of Public Order John Amratunga made clarifications regarding the progress of investigations into corruption and fraud. However, the minister avoided the queries of journalists by simply directing the questions to the Inspector General of Police.
The Financial Crimes Investigation Unit attached to the Sri Lanka Police was declared open today. The unit headed by DIG Ravi Vaidyalankara will work with the committee appointed to investigate large-scale financial fraud. A media briefing was held once the Financial Crimes Investigation Unit was declared open.
Today the people are pointing fingers at us. I request that either the Inspector General of Police or the Senior Police DIG be informed. There was an outcry over the death of prominent journalist Lasantha Wickramatunge. He was murdered. I would like to ask some senior police officers whether a case was filed in this regard.
The CID commenced investigations over 4 incidents. One is the misplaced vehicles at the Presidential Secretariat and the failure to secure information on them. The second is the floating armour maintained by Avantgarde. The third is the investigation into drug baron Bele Sudha. The fourth is the incident pertaining to Shashi Veerawance's passport. There are these 4 issues and the matter of document presented by Tissa Attanayaka.
We need to reveal what complaints were received over the past 5 years.
Minister Duminda Silva is not being arrested. He is being questioned continuously. Is this a political deal? Is it because he used to be in the UMP? The people think it is a political deal.
There is no political deal. We have given complete freedom to the police department to capture those who have committed crimes and bring them before the law.
We saw the Prime Minister participating in an interview on a private channel connected to Duminda Silva.
There is no impact there.
Is this preparation for an eventual election?
No. We need to speak strongly about good governance in the country.
No, don't pass it on to the IGP. Is there no enthusiasm on your part, even politically?
I ask these questions all the time. I can conduct an investigation myself, but I cannot go take the files out of those departments.
Vele Sudha is a defendant. There are several points which have been revealed by him. We cannot simply arrest people and produce them in court based solely on his statement.
The Mount Lavinia Magistrate Court had informed the IGP of this several weeks ago to entrust this to the CID. It has been entrusted to them since the day before yesterday and the investigation is underway.
දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවට බාර දෙන ලෙස පෙරේදා ඉඳලා අපි බාර දීලා තියෙනවා. දැන් ඒක නැවත විමර්ශනයක් ආරම්භ වෙනවා.
The police media spokesperson added that the cases would be refiled against the accused in the murder of the late Bharata Lakshman Premachandra.
Bharata Lakshman Premachandra සිද්ධිය මේ සිද්ධිය
All investigations into the Bharata Lakshman Premachandra's issue have been completed. I believe the trial at the High Court will commence within a short time frame. The High Court trial of the accused, including MP Duminda Silva, will commence.
චූදිතයින්ට එරෙහිව විශේෂයෙන්ම පාර්ලිමේන්තු මන්ත්‍රී දුමින්ද සිල්වා මහතා ඇතුළු චූදිතයින්ට එරෙහිව මේකේ මහාධිකරණ විභාගයේ.
Now shortly after this news item was aired on the main bulletin at 7 p.m. on our sister channel Sirasa TV, JHU spokesperson Nishant Sri Warnasinghe contacted us and expressed the following views.
මේ මොහොතේ මම සිරස newsfirst ප්‍රවෘත්ති නර්මමින් ඉන්නේ. එහිදී
I am expressing my views on the issues raised by John Amaratunga at a media briefing that was held this afternoon. A huge controversy arose with regard to the portfolio that was assigned to John Amaratunga. There were not only several problems with regard to the manner in which he carried out his duties, but also the confidence of the parliament. Therefore, John Amaratunga needs to carry out his role with responsibility. Rather than passing this on to the IGP or someone else, what has to happen is to provide answers to the journalists, but I wasn't able to witness this at the media briefing. My personal opinion is, when a problem arises, that minister needs to take up responsibility. It is a sad thing that he is not. We see this as a breach of responsibility.
ඒ නොවීම අටවසෙම මේ කනගාටුදායක කාරණයක්. ඔහුගේ තියෙන වගකීම් විරහිත.
Former police media spokesperson SSP Prashant Jayakodi, who was abroad, returned to the island today.
Prashant Jayakodi, who arrived in the island at around 2 this afternoon, stated that he had to leave the country due to threats that overwhelmed him in the line of duty. He arrived in the island after a span of 1 year and 7 months. There were several threats in the final stages, and I was instructed to issue media releases according to their wishes. Because I did not do that, they transferred me around, and finally I was transferred to Ratnapura. They tried very hard to destroy the illegal community hall that existed in Ratnapura, and also the impact of politicians on the police. Finally, I received death threats and had to migrate to Australia and many other places. The former secretary of the Ministry of Defence and the group surrounding him were behind this conspiracy. That is why I had to leave the country. Speaking at a press conference convened this evening upon his arrival to the country, former police media spokesperson SSP Prashant Jayakodi expressed the following views.
සුදුයන් සංස්කෘතිය සම්බන්ධව සමහර අමුදල් වින්දාරින් සම්බන්ධව මගේ දැනීමක් තියෙනවා.
United People's Freedom Alliance parliamentarians Sajin Divas Gunawardena and parliamentarian Mahindananda Alutgamage and the former chairman of the Sri Lanka Ports Authority Priyat Banduvikrama have been interrogated by the Criminal Investigations Department.
The police media spokesperson said that statements were recorded from MP Sajin Divas Gunawardena and Mahindananda Alutgamage and Priyat Banduvikrama under the Money Laundering Act.
දූෂණ විරෝධී හඬ ව්‍යාපාරයේ වසන්ත සමරසිංහ මහත්මයා
Vasanta Samarasinghe of the Voice Against Corruption movement filed a complaint on the 2nd of February 2015. It was filed against 3 individuals, namely MP Sajin Divas Gunawardena, former Minister Mahindananda Alutgamage and former chairman of the Sri Lanka Ports Authority Priyat Banduvikrama. The complaint says that they earn money in an improper manner. The Criminal Investigations Department is conducting investigations. We cannot do it under the Bribery Act. They need to do it themselves. All 3 of them were called to the CID yesterday and they were questioned partially. However, they have informed Mahindananda Alutgamage and Sajin Divas Gunawardena to provide clarifications on their questions. A statement from Priyat Banduvikrama was recorded and he was called to the CID again today. If a crime has been committed under the Money Laundering Act of 2006, the CID will conduct the investigations.
The Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Aviation says that the aviation company of Sajin Divas Gunawardena has been given a grace period of 2 weeks for to continue its operations at the Ratmalani airport. A communique issued by the ministry notes that as the private aviation company had rented the Ratmalani airstrip and equipment, they are yet to pay a sum exceeding 24 million rupees for its use. The ministry adds that investigations are continuing on to whether this company would be provided permission to continue to use the facilities at the Ratmalane airport. Meanwhile, this was the welcome that Sajin Divas Gunawardena received while attending an event to declare open a filling station in Kosgoda.
Kosgoda Pradeshයට අලුත් එළියක් ඇවිල්ලා. මොකද අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම Kosgoda මේ හූ කියන ඉතින් එන්නකො මෙතනට ඇවිල්ලා හූ කියන්නකො.
The group also expressed their displeasure over action not being taken against the MP.
මොනවා වුණත් අපේ අමුලාසලට හැසිරෙන්න මේ විදිහට එතකොට හරියද? හැසිරෙන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම නැතුව බෑනේ.
අපේ නායකතුමාට ඇවිල්ලා ගල් ගැව්වා. අපි මේ අපේ වැඩ නිසා අපි යනවා. හරි. ආපහු එන්න එහෙම නෑ කොස්කොල්ලා. අපි යනවා. මේ අපේ ගමේ වැඩක් නිසා. අපේ ගමේ වැඩක් නිසා අපි යනවා.
මේ විශේෂ අවස්ථාවට ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඇති වීම ගැන
You are all aware about what happened. Please be intelligent. You can now see how people behave.
Sajin Divas Gunawardena is an individual who hurled stones at our leader, the opposition leader at that time when he arrived in Balapitiya. Our anger is justifiable. We respect the police and the rule of law. As people who respect law and order, I clearly urge that Maithripala Sirisena, as the chairman of his party, to immediately remove all those who are responsible for corruption from positions as organizers and expedite the investigations against these corrupt officers. Legal action should be meted out against them. They shouldn't be gracing functions. Instead, they should be put behind bars.
We urge President Maithripala Sirisena not to send corrupt individuals like Sajin Divas Gunawardena who prevent other people from carrying out their political activities to Balapitiya. We would like to remind everyone that people such as Sajin Divas Gunawardena should be put behind bars and not at functions of this caliber. Until he is put in jail, we will protest at every function Sajin attends in Balapitiya.
He is an individual who did not allow anyone to carry out political activities here. Good governance does not mean letting the rogues roam free. It means that those who have engaged in wrongdoings be punished. That is what we are saying. This is a problem for us as well. Such corrupt individuals should not remain free any longer.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa visited the Kuruvita prison today.
The former president visited the prison today to inquire into the well-being of former Deputy Minister Premalal Jayasekara, who is currently in remand custody.
There is no reason why he should not go on bail, so I'm hoping that they will fulfill their responsibilities.
The former president also visited the home of Sabaragamuwa Provincial Councillor Ranjit Bandara.
Leader of the Janasatha Peramuna, Venerable Bhattanamule Silaratana Thera, urges former President Mahinda Rajapaksa to take up the leadership of his party.
I urge the former president to take the advice of the knowledge and intellect and act accordingly. You don't have to establish a new party. I am ready to give the leadership of the Janasatha Peramuna to you in good faith. The Citizens' Power Movement convened a seminar in Colombo yesterday.
In a Western nation, when a leader of a political party suffers defeat, he looks back and presents to the nation the reasons for his defeat. They present it in a defeated state. That's what we experience in Sri Lanka since independence. However, after the 8th of January this year, it has all been rejection. More than those who celebrated the victory of Maithripala Sirisena, there was a trend of terming the defeat of Mahinda Rajapaksa as an act of heroism. People started to make pilgrimages to Madamulana. The victorious one, in a very humble manner, requested that he not be addressed as His Excellency. At the same time, the defeated one started making statements like a lion. This is a bad sign. The reason why I say this is special. That was proven at the rally in Nugegoda. This rally was a significant challenge, not because of the thousands who were present. We know how the crowds were brought there. We know how the crowds gathered for the meetings of Mahinda Rajapaksa. Although it did not happen, the task of making it happen was similar. There was a challenge made then. He said, "If you can, arrest my wife." He said they did this and that. He said that his wife is alleged to have a fake passport and there was no questioning. He challenged. 2 days later, the wife was arrested. Then they flew to a hospital. She is suffering from a disease that cannot be diagnosed, as the magistrate has mentioned. Now this man is saying that she was taken away and they are seeking revenge from him, his wife and children. If we take these two situations into consideration, what will happen to the law, democracy and judiciary of this country?
ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදයට මොකද වෙන්නේ උසාවියට මොකද වෙන්නේ ඊට පස්සේ ඒක ගත්තට පස්සෙත් කියනවා නම් දැන් පරිගැනීමක් මේකේ කරන්න කියලා මේක තක්කඩියෙකුට දෙපැත්තටම පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක්.
Welcome back to the news. A protest was launched opposite the Ua Provincial Council demanding the immediate cessation of the Uma Oya project. Our correspondent said that the Badula Passara road was obstructed owing to the protest.
The protest, which is organized by the Organisation to Safeguard Uma Oya, saw the participation of residents of many areas including Bandaravela, Valimada, Puhulpola and Makulala. Chief Minister of the Ua province, Harin Fernando, arrived at the location where the protest was staged. Wells that were in existence for over 70 to 80 years do not have water anymore. Though the fields have been watered, the water does not stagnate in the field. The chaityas in the temples are cracked. We should talk about this before we talk to the Chief Minister. Politicians in the country are devious. I'm saying this while being in politics. They have made false promises. People were conned by those promises made through the Uma Oya project. We will not let that happen again. We will achieve victory through this for a certain.
It's easier said than done. The TVM, which borrows through soil, is about 180 meters in length. They have pointed out that they are unable to move forward through the area which remains flooded after the 26th of December. The machine is in the middle, but we could only find out where exactly the rupture is when the machine is moved forward. There are no funds to move beyond Uma Oya. We are in need of $30 million in order to close the rupture in a month. What I have told them is that I am also of the opinion that the rupture should be closed regardless of the repercussions. An investigation should be conducted there onwards. I have asked the Iranian engineers whether there is no insurance. I have also inquired as to whether there remains no insurance if people are put in jeopardy. They said that the insurance officers will be coming to the country from England tomorrow. A faction should be involved in a protest and the rest should be involved in a backdoor business. So this is a good. Samantha is attempting to take care of one side of it. So we have informed the central government that we will resort to taking action if this is not looked into.
Meanwhile, the News First Gamma program, which is scheduled to be recorded in Bandaravela, will highlight the hardships faced by the people due to the Uma Oya project.
On to other local news, Minister of Housing and Samurdhi Sajid Premadasa says that he is committed to protect the Divi Nagama beneficiaries as well as the officials. He made this statement at a conference held in Colombo today.
The 18th National Conference for over 2,000 graduate Samurdhi managers attached to the Divi Nagama Development Department took place today at the auditorium of the Public Library in Colombo. We will protect the 2.7 million Divi Nagama beneficiaries. We will also protect you who have been in the forefront of this journey. It is only then that we can take the Divi Nagama program towards success. What I have learned from my late father is when you serve the whole population from the bigger spoon, you must also protect the officers who carry out that task. Therefore, I will render that service like no other minister has done before, and I will commit myself to it.
The Deputy Minister of Justice met with a group of labourers from Korathota for a discussion last evening.
The meeting took place at the Korathota Rajama Viharaya. The participants lamented that they have lost their jobs as a result of several quarries closing down operations. In the future, we will be held accountable for good governance. I promise you that developments that you never envisaged will be witnessed in the coming 4 to 5 years. If we do not do it, do not place your trust on us. But if we carry out our development right, do not lose faith. No matter to which party or which faction you belong to, if you have a problem, direct it to me. As a minister, I am committed to provide a just solution. Officials of the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau were also present during the meeting.
On to business news tonight, Deputy Minister of Policy Planning and Economic Affairs Dr. Sirasa de Silva says that the government is determined to create a highly competitive social market economy. He made this statement at an event held in Colombo this morning. Trading at the Colombo Stock Exchange opened today under the auspices of the Malaysian Prime Minister's Special Envoy S. Sami Velu and Deputy Minister of Policy Planning and Economic Affairs Dr. Sirasa de Silva. The new chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Tilak Karunaratne, was also present.
We are determined to create what's called a highly competitive social market economy, Excellency. What that really means is that we will have two pillars on which this economy will be built. And one is competition, and that is a very, very strong word. And the other one is justice. And that justice, Excellency, we mean political, economic and social justice. So we create a highly competitive, which means we are no longer going to be comparing ourselves to South Asian nations, but we want to compare ourselves with countries like yours, successful stories of Malaysia and others, Eastern European countries, and we want to play at the level that we ought to be playing.
Our common objective is to see a well-regulated capital market where all the investors get a fair deal. And our duty especially is to ensure that. And we are now working on even strengthening the weak points and perhaps bringing in more amendments to our Act, which will give us more strength and teeth to take care of any shortcomings that are happening in the capital market.
The 174th edition of the newsfirst Leadership Training and Media Literacy Workshop took place at the Siddhartha Vidyalaya in Waligama, Mathura.
The newsfirst classroom project, which was launched several years ago, aims at moulding leadership skills and media literacy of school students. The 174th workshop got underway in Mathura today. Employees of newsfirst provided the students with an insight to new media, communication and program production.
We now have a broader knowledge on what communication is and what tools are used to communicate across the globe. We now know how to be connected to the world. I wish them all the very best in conducting more workshops in the future. This year our school completes 125 years. We are fortunate that newsfirst conducted the workshop at our school. I am thankful to the Sirasa Media Network, the giants in the media industry in Sri Lanka.
UNP parliamentarian Buddhika Pathirana was also present at this workshop.
When I was in school, there was no workshop similar to this. We only had speech and drama practices every Monday at Rahula College, Mathura. Today you are being empowered. I must say this privilege was not accorded to us. The objective of education is not only to make you an intelligent person, but to also make you humane. High Commissioner of India to Sri Lanka, Y.K. Singha, says that skills development should be given priority as the modern world requires a sense of innovation and entrepreneurship. He made this statement at an event organized by the Department of Accountancy at the University of Kelaniya to felicitate internship training partners. The event, titled Idea Nights 2015, saw the participation of internship training providers, industry partners, corporate sector representatives, academics and the undergraduates of the Department of Accountancy. Nero Cook, director of King's Investment Limited, a private firm developing renewable energy products, delivered a presentation at this event. Many dignitaries, including the High Commissioner of India to Sri Lanka, were present at the occasion.
Due to the presence of competition, the expectations of end users of the services, the customers, have grown exponentially. In many organizations, an increasingly flat structure is replacing the rigidly hierarchical structure that existed in the past. As a consequence of all these changes, a graduate fresh out of college, though he or she may be well equipped in the area of his or her specialization needs to very quickly imbibe additional attributes. For policy makers, this presents a different challenge. In addition to conventional education, emphasis has to be given to skills development.
The Ministry of Education states that a pass for mathematics at the ordinary level examination is no longer a prerequisite to continue education in the advanced level. The department also says that the submission of applications for the GCE advanced level examinations will close on the 6th of March.
The advanced level examinations are to be held from the 4th to the 28th of August. Meanwhile, the Lanka Teacher Services Union charges that several students are being inconvenienced as advanced level applications are being requested before the 2014 ordinary level results have been released. General Secretary of the union, Mahinda Jayasinghe, pointed out that the students are hopeful in successfully applying for their advanced levels even without the O-level results, as it was said that this year the marking process of maths papers would be lenient. Newsfirst made inquiries from the Commissioner General of Examinations, WMNJ Pushpakumara, in this regard. Pushpakumara said that the applications for the advanced level exams are closing by the 6th of March for the sole reason that it will provide adequate time for question papers to be prepared. However, he did note that there would be a week's grace period between the release of the ordinary level results and the deadline for the A-level applications.
General Secretary of the Citizens Front, MP J. Ranga, visited Nanuoya to look into the issues faced by the people in the area.
The MP was extended a warm welcome upon his arrival at the Farmerston estate in Nanuoya, Nuwara. The MP discussed issues faced by the people. Nuwara is the district that has no road facilities along with unemployment, health issues and educational shortcomings. We have discussed this issue on a number of occasions in the Minnal program. However, if these politicians need to remain in their position, they need to pay heed to the grievances of the people. They only distribute goods during elections in order to gain portfolios. They never acted to change the lives of the people. The public also commented on the statement made by MP J. Sri Ranga.
We agree with what MP Ranga said. Our children need to be taken forward. Our children should not be like us. We agree to this.
Well, it was all smiles for Sri Lanka today and definitely a boost for their Cricket World Cup campaign. Classy knocks from TM Dilshan, Kumar Sangakkara and Lahiru Thirimana guided Sri Lanka to secure a 92-run win over Bangladesh at the Melbourne Cricket Grounds.
Winning the toss and batting first, Sri Lanka got off to the start they have been looking for, with openers Lahiru Thirimana and TM Dilshan putting on an opening partnership of 122, both scoring half-centuries. Thirimana fell for 52 runs. That brought in veteran power hitter Kumar Sangakkara to the crease. Kumar Sangakkara paired up with Dilshan and fired the ball to the fence and over, eventually recording a 50 in his 400th one-day international. Dilshan meanwhile went on to score century number 21 under the bright skies and then his 150-plus score, his third in ODI cricket.
Yes, almost an anticlimax. 400 in his last 10 innings. I thought he might have been charging back for the second.
Sangakkara then went on to record a century, his 22nd in ODI cricket. Sri Lanka posted 332 runs with a loss of just one wicket in their 50 overs.
Great feeling.
It was a nightmare for Bangladesh as the chase saw them lose their first 3 wickets inside 40 runs. The middle order showed some resilience, however it was no match for the Lankan bowling attack supported by the field. Shabir Rahman went on to score a half-century. However, he continued to lose partners and eventually lost his own wicket. Lasith Malinga brought the proceedings to a close with the wickets of the Bangladesh tail, dismissing them for 240 runs in 47 overs.
They're all up in celebration. It's a good ball from finger. There's so many times, it's just like another meal for Lasith Malinga.
Well, still news from the Cricket World Cup. The Afghanistan cricket team brought tremendous joy to its far-flung fans when it beat Scotland by 1 wicket in the last over to claim its first win at the Cricket World Cup. Afghanistan has been the most impassioned team at the tournament, celebrating every wicket with unrestrained displays of jubilation, including cartwheels and quiet prayers.
Scotland's innings was one of fits and starts as they lost wickets in bunches, consolidated with promising partnerships, only to again lose batsmen in quick succession. Huck with 31 runs and Alisdair Evans on 28 ground out a 62-run 9th wicket partnership to ensure the Scots lasted the full 50 overs and had something of a target to defend. Shapur Zadran claimed 4 Scottish wickets while Daulat Zadran bagged 3 wickets.
Oh, how good a blow is this? It's going to land safe. It is lofted into the extra cover position.
Samuel Lashenwari scored 96 to bat Afghanistan to the threshold of victory as it chased Scotland's 210, its highest ever score in a World Cup match, but was out with 19 runs needed with 19 balls remaining and 1 wicket standing. The last wicket pair of Hamid Hassan and Shapur Zadran combined in a nerveless partnership which completed the famous win with 3 balls to spare. Shapur struck the 3rd ball of Blaine Wardlow's final over for a boundary to end the most passionately contested match to date at the 2015 World Cup.
In this World Cup wasn't to be today. Their time will have to come. The hour is now.
Well, great scenes coming out from that match between Afghanistan and Scotland. That wraps up today's edition of Prime Time News. Thank you very much for joining us as usual. I'm Mahina Bongzo.
And I'm Shahan Jarampati. Good night and take care.